All right, everyone. Welcome back to Honest Hour. And I hope everyone's doing real good today. Everyone's doing well and living in their purpose. Today, I got another good episode for you. Let me tell you about my guest today. My guest today is a very close friend. We're family. She's a sister. She knows a lot about life insurance. She knows a lot about credit repair, and she has a lot of information that can help lead you into generational wealth as well as helping you succeed in covering yourself and your family. So I'm going to welcome, I call her Soso. So that's what we're going to go with today. Shurriyah Drye, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm good. I can't complain. I appreciate you coming on to the show and having a conversation.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. We'll have you back. This is your second time here. You know, so the first thing is, and the most important thing I'm going to ask you in this interview is, how's your mental health today? Scale of 1 to 10.
Scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to say 8.
8, okay.
Say 8 is pretty high. Although I did go through some hiccups this morning.
Okay.
I'm not going to let that affect my mental health.
That's right.
That's everyday stuff. But everything's going good.
Okay. Can't complain. Everyone's good. Family's good.
Yes.
Healthy and happy.
Yes.
See, that's important. That's very important to me, and as it should be to everybody. So, last time we were here, we spoke about we spoke about life insurance. We're still gonna start with that there. And my first question is, just tell people again why it is important to have life insurance coverage.
It's important to have life insurance because it's protection. Not only can it be protection or can be used as income protection, let me rephrase that. Income protection, which is something that protects the breadwinner's income, the person who's owing money for the family. That'll protect their income, and say if their family's well off, that can just be extra money that the family can use for whatever they want.
Absolutely, and that's real important to have for anyone to be able to have a fallback plan, because we know life is tough, everything's expensive, and everything goes up except our paychecks.
Yep.
So why do people not have life insurance? Other than protection for your family, what are the benefits to having life insurance outside of maybe those types of things? Because there's a vast good reason why people should have it.
So why I think people don't have life insurance is because they don't really I'm not going to say they don't understand, but they don't actually take the importance of the depth of it or know how far it can really take a family or how it can save a family. It can save somebody from having to move out their house. It can save someone anything. And people don't understand that a lot of things come with life insurance. It's not just somebody passes away and a family gets money. Everything should always be included in your policy, whether it's your mortgage, your car payment, anything that will be left for that family should be in that life insurance policy. And that's what I think people don't think about.
Could it also be that because, I've had a life insurance policy before. Unfortunately, I don't have one now. But part of that, for me personally, why I don't have one is it isn't another bill to pay.
It is.
It's sometimes it's a rather hefty bill. So how can people, when it's hard to live check to check, we understand. It's kind of like, it feels like to me, like in a sense, car insurance, right?
Yeah.
To me, car insurance, I'm going to just put out there, most insurance is a scam. Car insurance, I can go 10 years, no accidents.
Yeah,
I get hit one time. Not only do I have to pay you a high deductible when I pay you monthly, and then you're going to raise my premium on top of that. Health insurance, we all pay for that, and then what happens? Something happens, it's not covered under this.
Yep.
It's not covered under that. That's not covered. We're not doing that. Even cell phone insurance. I pay every month for this insurance. I lost my phone in Queens when I was working a few months back. I had to pay $300.
A co-payment.
Oh, you know? Yeah. So just you can see it's that word insurance. Mm-hmm. So
it scares the people. I don't blame you because I do not like car insurance. I wish we did not have to pay for health insurance.
You know?
Okay. So like I completely understand.
So is it maybe that because people are like, well, people also have the thought of, oh, well, it can't happen. Nothing's going to happen to me. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll be fine. What do you think people can do or what can be done to help alleviate that cost?
Okay.
For people to understand, like, this is an important insurance. Mm-hmm. This is important insurance because, like, you can leave here, someone runs a red light.
Yeah. Yep. So cost, which is very important because we're all going through something. Right now it's hard. It's hard out here for everyone. So cost is like a big thing. What I came across usually when people hear about life insurance, they're usually introduced to whole life insurance first, which is it is whole life insurance and it covers your whole life, but it is very expensive life insurance as well.
Yes.
And usually people will get that policy because they can take a loan out on that policy. But when they take a loan out on the policy, it's because they don't have the money in their pocket and they have to end up paying that loan back.
Right.
But that's besides the point. With it being so expensive, there are cheaper life insurance policies. It's just so that whole life insurance policies are always the push. They're always the ones that people are seeing,
right.
Being advertised to and everything like that. So I would recommend looking up a term policy because they're affordable. They're usually affordable. The ones that I work with start at $25 a month. So that's what I also aim, and that's how I try to get people, like, if you have $25, what are you paying for with $25 every month that you don't really need that you can replace with paying for a policy?
That's a night of Chinese, night of pizza.
Yep. We spend that every day, not even noticing. So that is why I really do work with term policies because it is affordable, and there's a way to work it to where later on down the road, you may feel like you have a whole life insurance policy if you get the right information and you know how to move your money and work your money.
That makes a lot of sense.
So that's definitely something I love to teach.
Anyone who's out there who don't have life insurance, you heard it here. $25 can get you started, get you in the door.
And children covered for free.
And listen, 'cause you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. So, I seen a post of yours the other day that came across my mind, and I had to make sure I put it in here because it was just like, I never thought of this. And I wanted to know why on this specific topic. I seen a post of yours that said women pay more insurance than men over their lifetime. What is the cause of that? What are some of the items that women have to pay for that men don't have to?
Okay. So when I said women do pay more for insurance, that's because usually men don't always go to the doctor. There are men who do.
That's me. That's me.
There are men who do, but a majority of men, they put their health isn't always the first thing on their mind.
It's their pride. I'm fine.
So they often go to the doctor a lot less than females. Then we got to think about pregnancies. We're in the hospital having children.
Okay.
Female issues. We're in the hospital for maybe a cyst on an ovary, just little things like that.
Right.
And then we're just more in touch with our health as like a majority. Like we're just so much more in touch with our health that we don't mind going to pay for over-the-counter IV fluids to get some vitamins in our veins. Like we don't mind paying for that stuff.
Exactly.
Well, you ask a guy and then he's like, what? No, I got stuff to do.
Like, no, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
And then when we're laid up in the hospital, oh, I should have listened. I should have went.
Yep.
I waited too long. Like literally, it's like the last resort of like of wanting to do any kind of health care. Because I'm the same way. Like I'm fine. I'm fine.
Until you start feeling sick and you're like,
and then you're like, oh, I don't feel so good. I don't feel so good. I'm tired. I'm irritable. And then you're like, but part of it too, and this is just for me, I can't speak for all men.
Yeah.
If something's wrong, we're afraid of what's wrong.
Yeah.
Like we're terrified of what it could be.
You don't want to hear the bad news.
Yeah, like you know, and I've said this plenty of times, this is just a people thing, but it applies very well here. We're always so conscious about what can go wrong. We never think about what can go right. We're so conscious about like the negative in everything.
Yeah.
And me, this coming from a guy who talks about positivity daily. I go through those moments too.
Yeah.
Just like I'm starting a new job next week, and I'm like, this can go wrong, this can go wrong. But what if none of that goes wrong and everything goes right? Like, you know, that's a big thing that I think we have to focus on is what can go right.
I agree.
Absolutely. Let's talk about generational wealth. What is generational wealth for people who don't know what it is?
Generational wealth is when you can pass down your wealth, your money, and hopefully assets to your children. And hopefully your children could pass that down to their children. Hopefully your children can continue what you started and pass that down to their children, and it goes down the line.
Just never ends.
Never ends.
So what task do people do? Because we know certain individuals have generational wealth. If you're famous, you know, you got millions of dollars, of course, that's just gonna trickle. But what other types of generational health can, you know, normal people like you and I do to create for our children and their children and so on and so forth?
So step one, I'm going to say learning. Not teaching yourself, but putting yourself in front of the information, because the information is always right in front of us. We just usually just walk past it and we don't really pay it attention because it might not be in our face as like bold, bright letters, so it doesn't catch our attention. That's not something that people are just gonna stop and take into their own hands. But I would always say like that's the first thing is learning and putting yourself in front of that information because it's everywhere.
Absolutely.
Definitely everywhere.
It's a look for knowledge.
Yeah.
And I think, like, growing up, I was a big Tupac fan. I was watching this documentary about these people he had lived with growing up.
Yeah.
Because he had a rough life. You know, his mother was a Black Panther, in and out of jail and things of that nature. And I forget the woman's name who he lived with when he was, like, a teenager. But he would go and take a book and say, what is this? And he would read the book front to back. You know, so even though he had thug life and this hard demeanor, he had a softer side. He was very
smart.
And he was smart.
He was very smart.
And knowledgeable.
Yep.
For 25 years old, he probably still knows more in his 25 years of living than I do in my almost 37.
Yeah.
You know? And could generational wealth also be, could it be a life insurance policy?
Generational wealth can start with a life insurance policy because you don't know if you set yourself up to be in a position. All right, say you're 23 and you're learning more about financial literacy and you feel like you're behind in the race, but you're never behind in the race if you're starting. You know what I mean? So say you're not where you want to be, but you get to halfway to where you want to be.
Okay.
And you leave what you already have, plus a life insurance policy to your children. That policy can help them start a business. That policy can help them pay for school, maybe law school, be a doc. Like you never know where that money can go, and then you always have control over that money and where it goes.
Oh, okay, that makes sense because you know I think about those things as well with my children. Like you know, I'm trying to leave them something.
Yeah.
Leave them something they can have. Which is part of the reason why I do this.
Yeah. Pass it down. That can be a part of generational wealth because your business, even your business can get so big to where it'll be passed down to your children and your children can sell it. I mean,
Absolutely.
like
If
a
they
lot
want
of
to.
people wouldn't want them to, but if they want to, they can sell the business.
Absolutely.
And, maybe start something that they're more interested in with that money. So,
Well, I also say, like, I'm trying to teach them a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. Like, they like to make clips and stuff.
that's
So I could go and pay someone to do that, right? But I look at it like this. This is where what you said comes in, knowledge. I've researched that I could actually pay them to do it. And then when you pay them to do it, once it's an LLC, that's a tax write-off.
yes.
Pays for themselves. Then what many people may not know is you can have your children on your payroll, even if they're minors, and they can make an excess of X amount of money a month. I think it's like $1,500.
Yeah, you can go to your your state website and get them working papers.
Yep. And then it just pays for itself. You write that off on your taxes.
Yep.
Many people don't know that stuff because why am I going to go pay X amount? I'd rather take the time, teach them how to
Keep
do
it in
it.
the family.
Exactly. And then they'll get paid, and then they'll be happy. I'll have happy products out there or stuff I need. So it's a win-win in that regard.
And they'll also learn as they go. They'll learn more, and they can probably implement that to make everything grow bigger. So you never know where. I always say, teach the children, because you never know. They're always into stuff. We don't know what they're really interested in. So I feel like us as parents, we introduce our kids to so many different things that they have options to choose, and then they have the information to how they want to do it.
And now with cell phones, I know your son's a little younger than my daughter's.
He's on that phone. Oh. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, but my daughters, they actually take the time, and if they want, Dad, I want to know this. Okay, Google it. I still monitor them because they be wanting to Google some crazy stuff. Like, whoa, wait a minute. You don't need to Google that.
Yeah.
You can Google this. Don't Google that. Budgeting. Budgeting. Something I have an issue with.
Me too. Me too.
Why is it so important to budget? And I'm going to take it a step further because people think if they make $2,000 a week, let's say, which is pretty good, especially in this day and age, they don't need to budget.
Oh, no, you need to budget. Even if you're a millionaire, you need to budget. Because just as quick as you make the money, you can lose the money if you not keeping track of the money. Because when you're not, what I've learned, I'm just going to use myself for an example, because within the past month, I actually started writing out a shopping list.
Okay.
And it was one of the best things that I've decided to put into my routine because, first of all, I'm in and out the store, right? And then, when I'm looking for coupons, I know exactly what kind of coupons I'm looking for. And then I'm saving money because I'm not just picking up random things in the store trying to remember what I need.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
So, because I caught myself just walking out of even the dollar store. I've caught myself walking out the dollar store spending $30 and I went in there for two things.
And it should be like $2 or $3. And you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. So, I had to, figure something out, and a shopping list saved my life.
Wow.
So, if that's something
that's a start.
It's a good start. I'm telling you, it's a good start.
Right, because I think also you have to have a little bit of control.
Yes,
because even with that list, you're walking down an aisle and you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's on sale. That's on sale.
Yeah.
And then you're like, that's okay.
Yeah.
And then you get to the end and you're like, it should be like 125, and then it's like 180.
Yeah.
And you're like,
what did I get?
What did I buy and why?
Things that weren't on the list.
Things
that could have waited 2 weeks.
Why did I buy this? No. So, why do people have such a hard time budgeting? And what other tools do you think could be utilized to help with budgeting?
People have a hard time budgeting because we always see things that we want and swear that we need it. So budgeting kind of like when we see gold, it starts to sparkle in our eyes. And it's like, I can afford this. But really, we can't. Well, we can, but we can't. Because it might bite us back later on.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, it's budgeting is just, you need to do it. We need to do it because I'm still working on it with myself. And it's just like, write things down. I'm still learning how to keep track of expenses too. Keeping track of expenses is definitely a big part of budgeting. And I'm disciplining myself on that. And I'm actually teaching my son how to do that. Like, I'll give him $5 and let him spend the whole thing. Go ahead and spend it and see how you don't have nothing by the time you ask for something else. Because I want him to know what that feels like, so that he knows, like, let me space this out.
Let me make it stretch.
Yeah, so I let him spend. Go ahead and spend your money. Go right ahead.
Yep, you know, you go to
don't call on me.
Yeah, you know exactly. That's what these kids be. They be thinking it grows on trees.
Yeah, no.
I was just like, no, it does not.
No, right.
Like, no, we're not growing on trees. Like, we're definitely working for it.
Yeah.
And I think, like, my kids, they have an understanding. They'll be like, Dad, can I? And I've, for the longest it was no, because it's like, I just really can't afford it.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like, okay, let's look at it. Let's see what we can do. But just understand, if you do this, you're not doing that. Like, my youngest, Michelle, she was doing dance for the longest, but dance is expensive.
Yes.
Oh my God, it was so much. So we couldn't do it. And then, so she understood, but now she's like, she wants to go back to dance, but then she's like, but I want to do cheerleading. I'm like, whoa. Which one? Yeah. One or the other, kid.
Yeah.
And then she was like, all right, I'll do the cheerleading. I'm like, thank God. Because that's one-time fee. One-time payment.
It goes in the budget.
Yes. One time, $250 versus dance, $100 a week. And you got to pay for the outfits. And you got to pay for the competitions.
Yeah.
It's like,
the shoes.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's like, just kill me. Kill me. Like, multiple sources of income. One of your favorite things to discuss, I'm sure.
I love it.
How important is it to have multiple sources of income?
I feel like it's very important. And I say that because I read this post and it said one source of income is close to none, because anything can happen. Since COVID, that, like, anything can happen. Like, that's when I learned that literally anything can happen in the snap of a finger, and you never know what, where, and why. So, and me losing an income due to COVID, I had to figure it out. Although we were getting the $600 checks, I wasn't budgeting, first of all.
Yeah.
I wasn't learning financial literacy around the time. So, like, I literally had to figure it out. And it just, it's like, we have to,
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, a lot of people don't understand that having more than one is important.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you, like, especially if you're a single person, like, if it's just you, there's no significant other to help with that. Because 2 is better than 1.
Yeah.
But 3 is better than 2. 4 is better than 3.
Yep. And there's a lot of things today. There's a lot of things. We have a lot of options today to make extra income. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like what you're doing, a podcast. Some people DoorDash.
Yeah.
Some people take out people's garbage. There's so many things that we can do. Like, you can start a business out of anything today.
Absolutely.
And that's the best part, I feel like. And us as people, us as citizens, we're starting to actually support each other more. And although we still go to the big businesses, thank you for Walmart, thank you for ShopRite,
right?
Thank you for City Trends and Big Lots and all of that stuff,
right?
But as a whole and as a majority of citizens, we're starting to realize that we are who we all need. We need each other, because that's where a lot of extra sources of income are coming from. It's coming from us doing our own thing. It's not coming from us working for these huge corporations, or I mean, some people have second jobs and that can be their second income. But we're all starting to realize that we can do it on our own without having to break our back and make somebody else super more richer.
Exactly. And that's just it, is you sit here, right? And I look at it like this.
Yeah.
If I could spend 8 to 10 hours driving a truck for another company to help them get their bottom dollar, to put billions in their pocket, why can't I do that for me?
Yes.
Why can't I just take time and find a way to get to where I want to go? And it's just important that we lean on one another, which is why my last episode, I had Nicole Gonzalez here, and she does website designing. My plan now is I want to get everyone in every kind of field that I could think of. We all get into a room. We all discuss what we bring to the table. And then someone says to me, oh, I need credit repair. Okay, I send them to you. If someone says I need a website, I could send them to her. Someone says I need a DJ, I could send them to this guy or this girl. Someone says I need a community center. Maybe Jamaica can help you. So there's just different variables that we need. And I think that, like you said, knowledge. Knowledge is power. If we get all of us in one room, it could be 20, 30, 40 people, and we speak and we put something together, we'll be more powerful than we know.
Definitely.
You know, we get everyone involved, as many people as we can in the area. You know, and there's so many people who are about community.
Yes, and I've noticed that, and I love it. I love it. Like, that's actually a part of my motivation, because I'm like, I know I have these people like around me that they're just so like motivating, and they're like all about their business, and they're people. You know what I mean? So like, I just really love that, and I am grateful for that. I'm grateful for having a community with those type of people.
Absolutely. And I think we have to, even though we, like you and I talk like every day, like literally like every day, and I think we just have to get that bandwidth of more people to just have those connections. And even if it isn't every day, we can just have the meeting, maybe sit down once every other month, because people's schedules be scheduling, and just say, okay, this is what we have. We can do this, get this, maybe get the mayor involved. Harvey's big on that stuff, and I think just it's something that, well, like you said, knowledge. People don't know because they don't have the knowledge. Yes. So if we can get people knowledge in front of everyone, in these fields, and just build a community within the community, we'll be more powerful than we ever know.
Yes, definitely. And I feel like that's what we need, because I haven't seen anything like that in this area. I'm going to just speak for Hudson Valley 845. I haven't seen nothing like that in this area, and I feel like we have the perfect people for it.
Absolutely. And that's just it. Like Ralph Mavor is one person who I'll always bring up his name in that fold for community. Him and the Mavor family in totality, they really care about community. They're not watched enough. Yes. Where we are here, Marks Incorporated, Jamaica is phenomenal with the stuff she does for this community. Not mentioned enough.
Yes.
So I think that with heavy hitters like that, we get the mayor involved. We bring people like yourself, credit repair, as well as life insurance. Me, a platform for anyone in that room could come and sit right here, have a conversation. Like we can definitely do a lot of good, especially with our community.
Definitely, and it's getting nice out, so
it's a sign. What are some forms of income you believe that people could create outside their regular job, which we kind of just went over. But how does tying generational wealth and good budgeting match with good credit?
Okay. So with good credit, so I would say credit is for the living. All right. So, but let me also say this. If you leave behind debt and bills, there is a possibility it can go to your kids. So I'm gonna say that's how it can tie.
It can go to your spouse too, right?
Yes, it can.
Okay.
It'll go to your married spouse first. Yes, definitely. But if God forbid anything happens, it'll go to your children, or it'll come out of your policy if you have one. But I feel like it ties as a parent. Being a parent, having that policy in place for your children, that's something we're able to teach our children so that they know how to handle it when it's their turn. So that they don't mess up the bag. Yeah. Because we've even witnessed it, a lot of people get their hands on crazy money. And, it's not that they're irresponsible. It's just that, first of all, who wouldn't go spend money as soon as they get money? Like, who's not going to go do it? Who's not going to go buy that watch that they've been looking at since they were 9? You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly.
But if you know, like, okay, I'll go buy this watch, but the rest is I'm going to buy a stock with the rest. All right. Hey, I salute that. That's good. But a lot of people just don't have the knowledge or the direction of what they can do with the money. They don't know what they can do with the money to double it, or they don't know what they can do to protect it. So I feel like that's how it could tie to it. Because if you don't know how to handle your money, you most likely won't know how to handle credit. Because how are you going to pay off your credit cards if you spent all your money? So
it's funny, not funny, but kind of ironic you say that, because the same can be said for if you get an inheritance. When my grandfather passed away, he had he was forged a life insurance policy. Let's say that someone knew someone and did something probably not legal to make sure he had one.
Yeah, I believe it, because a lot of that happens. A lot of it happens.
So they were able, because it was literally on the fly, they literally did it for him in his deathbed, like that bad. Yeah, my $80,000 is what they were able to do. So, okay. In 2 months, gone.
What? And see, we all raise our eyebrows and drop our jaw, but we don't know what we would do in that situation if we didn't have the education or the knowledge.
Well, part of it is that my family situation is they're kind of, or was it 180? I'm sorry, it was 180.
Oh, wow.
And part of my a lot of my family members, they're special. Let's just say that. Because God forbid one of them see this and then they be like, "Whoa, what are you trying to say, cuz?" Not trying to say nothing. But, I think it was 180. My grandmother went out and bought an 80-inch TV, whatever. She gave all her grandkids $2,000. Gave all her grandkids $1,000. They kept going back for more.
Oh my gosh. That's how it starts.
Ran the well dry.
Yeah.
And but much is to be said, because if people don't once again have the knowledge to say, okay, like if God forbid one of my parents were to pass away, first thing I would do is I would save X amount for each one of my kids. And then I would actually take a majority of my money. I would invest it into what I'm doing. I would be like, okay, well, I need to use this wisely. I'm sorry, I lied. First thing I'm doing is I'm going on a vacation. Those tears got to dry. I need to do something. I lost a parent. I got to do something
You're
fun.
going to treat yourself, yeah.
No, I got to go on a vacation. Save some money for my children. And then I'll be like, okay, what can I do to grow my business? If I'm going to invest, if I'm going to lose money, you want to put it somewhere. You want to
try to gain it back.
Where it can come back to you. And that's simple knowledge. That's just 101. Put it somewhere where it's going to come back. You don't need that new game system. You don't need that car. That expensive 6-figure car.
Yeah.
You just need to do something where it's invest, even if it's a little bit in some stocks. I mean, we spoke about that.
Yeah.
You know, I invested 10, now I'm up to 15.
See, would you look at that? You see? And I was just talking about the stocks the other day. I'm like, Because I noticed, because I had put like $10 into this one stock. It was like a Bitcoin digital stock.
Yeah.
And I put like $10 in it, and then I went to go check because I knew the stock was down, and it's been like 2 months since I even added anything to that stock or anything. I go back and it was $21. And then that's what made me make my post. Like, the conversation about stocks died down, y'all. What are we doing?
Yeah,
this is free money.
There was a minute where people were like, Bitcoin. They were finding different ones to stock, and like one of my boys, and if you understand it, like one of my boys understands it well. He's like, yeah, man, I'm up hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
I'm like, how? Because I'll explain it to you. But then he never explained it.
Yeah, just drop that. Shoot, every time you get paid, even if it's $5, you can put $5 into a stock. Like, I always just split it up. Like, I'll probably put $5 in this stock, and as it grows, you'll probably be able to own a whole share of stock. Because I know Tesla right now is at $247 right now for a share, and the stock is definitely going up. So it's going up. So I would recommend that. But
best
if
time.
you don't have the whole 247, you could just do 10. Put something in there.
Put something, and then you'll get there eventually. But the best thing they tell you to do is to buy it when it's down.
Yep.
And then when it goes up,
it's
sky's the limit.
Yes.
So, why did you begin to start doing credit repair?
So, because I've grown up with adults in my life who were not the best at credit, like, credit cards and paying this off, paying that off. And that wasn't the person that I wanted to be,
Right.
That I didn't want to, I seen struggle. I went through struggle, and that's not the person that I want my son to see. And I want to be able to teach him so that I don't know who's going to be here for him when I'm no longer here.
Right.
So I want to be able to teach him what he needs to know. And then even me, I knew absolutely nothing about credit, and my credit was jacked up. I'm like, something's got to give.
Right.
I had this girl a few years ago. I had this girl work on my credit. I paid her to work on my credit. She took about, I think, she worked on my credit and 2 things came off. My credit was still bad. So I did not have the education on how to grow my credit because she didn't give me like the education. She just did what she did and just,
kind of left it.
Yeah, left. So I'm like, all right, what do I need to know for myself to do this? So I studied it. I've been studying it for months and months before I even started it. And I got certified. And then I'm like, I'm going to start doing this for people, but I want to do it for free because I want to be able to explain it. I'd rather be able to explain it to people so that they understand it rather than just working on it and just doing it. So I'd rather be able to explain it. And most of the time, the only way to explain something to someone is if they're not paying for it.
Absolutely.
So it is information that I want people to know, and I want people to have that knowledge.
That's all well and good. But I wanted to say this. I was going to text this to you, but I want to say this on the camera so that people understand. As you start to grow, know your worth. Free hands don't get fed. Which is why I said to you, you can look at mine, but you're going to get paid. Even if it's $50. Because to me, you're giving a life service and a skill. Which people value, like you said, when it's free. It's the same thing like with this show. If people want to come up here and then I ask you to pay me to come up here. Now, like if I reached out to you to come on here, I'm not going to be like, yo, you got to pay. But now if you're reaching out because you're trying to utilize my platform to elevate yourself and I say, give me $50, what do you mean? People have to understand there's a price on everything. You have to value yourself. And, so while you're doing it for free, that's great. But there comes a point where free has to be
Oh
no
yeah, the
more.
price is going up real soon.
Yeah,
Real soon.
exactly. You got to let them know, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because you know, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
You're a mom. You work. You do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be compensated something here. You know, compensated something, and then you know that's how it all begins.
Yeah.
People don't understand. Like, well, not that people don't understand. People always want something for nothing.
Yes.
So to me, when people want something for nothing, that means that you don't value fully what I'm doing.
I agree.
You don't value
agree.
my time or my efforts because you think you deserve them for free. You know, it's the same thing when, like, if someone were like these shirts I sell, someone will say to me, "Oh, yo, hook me up." Like, you go to Nike and ask them to hook you up.
Right.
You go to you know, Walmart, you ask them to hook you up. So the only thing I'll say is just, I ain't mad at what you're doing. But once people have that knowledge, be like, well,
Oh yeah.
the price is different today. It ain't free no more. You know, a consultation's $25.
Yes.
Services are $75.
Yes. Deposit.
You know, monthly. You know, to have this monthly service is $50. Like, we all got to get paid out here. You know, like, I'm cool with, you know, doing like, I seen you were recently at I forgot the name. I didn't put it in my notes. A literacy seminar, maybe,
Yes.
was it?
Yes, I did a financial literacy seminar in Beacon at the girls program.
And how did that go?
It went great. It went great. So I have a presentation especially for children.
Okay.
My son was like the guinea pig of the because I had to see if it caught a child's attention.
And how old is he?
He's 6.
6, okay.
So he did engage with it when I did the presentation. So then I'm like, okay, so this is the presentation I'm going to use for children up to at least the age of 13. So I have that in place, but it went really good. It went really good. They did learn something. The director reached out to me afterwards, and then she said, "Thank you so much."
Wow.
The girls have tickets that they hand in for like their issues is money, and they hand it in to get like prizes and stuff. She's like, a majority of them told me that they want to save them for something bigger.
Wow.
So I'm like, all right.
Okay. So you
So
see,
it worked.
I always tell people we don't know the power we have.
Yeah.
And that's just one session.
Yeah.
Listen, you ever need guinea pigs, you borrow my daughters.
Okay.
They sew anything up. I'm like, this is Aunt Soso.
Okay. I would love to do that.
Yeah, you know, Brenda, my oldest, she's very knowledgeable, always looking for knowledge. Maya's a little, but she'll listen.
Oh yeah, we could do a one-on-one.
Yeah.
We could do a group Zoom.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. They would like that. You know, but that's good to give that, to be able to give that to the people.
Yes.
You know, because I've always said it starts at that young age. We teach them young, you know, and kind of embed certain things in here.
Yes.
By the time they're adults, the sky's the limit
They're
for
better
them.
off than we were.
You know, and not to say, like, for me, my mom taught me everything right. I just made bad decisions.
Yeah.
You know, you can't make people do what you want them to do.
Yep.
You know, I made bad decisions with my credit. I've made bad decisions financially. And my mom made great decisions. Still makes great decisions now, you know? And it's just like me, now I have the wherewithal to make those great decisions.
Yeah.
But now I was trying to figure out how to get back to
You
where I
can.
need to be.
You definitely can. It definitely takes discipline and tribulation, but you definitely can. It's never too late. Never,
Exactly.
ever.
Exactly. It's hard. I've tried to help my compulsive buying of certain things, but you know, but we're all we got.
Yes.
You know, we're all we got.
And it's still you only live once, but
Right. You know, but
we just gotta balance. We just have to balance.
you only live once, but it's just
but
like,
I don't think I can buy this today.
like no, not today, not today. So, what can some people do to start building credit properly if they don't have any?
If you don't have any credit,
Because
I would say
I've heard no credit is just as bad as bad credit.
yes, it is. It is just as bad as bad credit. That's how they look at it. They look at it as you have no experience.
Right.
So how can I trust you with this? But get a phone in your name. Lease a phone. Get a phone in your name. Little things. You can get a phone in your name. Some people do Afterpay, or they'll get like a little a secured credit card.
Okay.
I wouldn't say an unsecured credit card for someone who has no credit. I would always say a secured credit card, just because you'll learn as you go.
Right.
It's like a learning process with a secured credit card, and you have extra security. That's your money. So if anything, if you were to ever fall behind, you have your money backing up that credit card. So I would say get a secure credit card, a phone in your name. If you want to start off with a car, that's a biggie. But that's a good one too.
Right. I mean, if you have the wherewithal to do it, or, because certain people be like, man, that's a big thing. I'm like, but if you're working, you got a job. Like, because I started with a car, but my mom co-signed.
Yeah.
I made the payments. As long as I made the payments on time.
Yeah.
And then, then I started making bad decisions.
Yeah, but some people with the car, I say maybe the car, because things come up with a car.
Right.
And then, you start to go crazy, because that's what happened with my first car. I got my first car, and it was my first bill ever. I've never paid a bill until I got my first car. And then everything starts to go wrong. And I had just enough money to make my monthly payments. So, I didn't know that insurance didn't cover your brakes. I was gone to this stuff.
I knew nothing. She goes, I
knew nothing.
Oh, the brakes are going. Just go to the insurance
you
company.
guys don't cover brakes? What do you mean?
I need the brakes.
Yeah, so just make sure you look into everything before you
make sure you're knowledgeable about what you should be knowledgeable about. Oh man, that's a good one. So let's talk about Success Solutions. I'm a part of this group. It's a great group. It's very, very informative. What made you decide to create this group, to start giving away, or not so much giving away, start informing people about solutions to be successful?
Because I sometimes do post on my regular Facebook, but I want the people who want to see it to see it. You can join the group by choice. It's a choice to join the group. It's also a choice to send me a friend request. But if you see something, I look at it as, if somebody sees something that says success and they want to be a part of it, then they're here to hear it. That's something that they want to see. That's something that they want to hear. And those are the people who will take that information and run with it. They'll be positively affected by it. So that's what helped me make that group. That's what motivated me to make the group, because I know that this is a place where people want to see it. I might post something. Somebody might be my friend on Facebook, but not because they care about credit or life insurance, just because they want to know what I'm up to. You know what I mean? So I just want whoever it's meant for, I want them to see it.
Whoever it's if it'll be for you, it'll be.
Yes.
That makes sense. And how successful do you feel like the group has been in totality?
Since last year, it's grown a lot. I've been surprised. I'm not in the thousands yet, but I think I'm at 146 people, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's more than that. I think it's 246. I was just looking at it.
I was at 12. I remember I was at 12, and I'm like, why isn't anybody joining the group? What is going on? And this year, I'm way past that. So I'm just happy for that.
Absolutely. So it's growth, and a lot of it's repetition. I've noticed you've gotten a lot better with responding to messages.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I knew I had to work on, because it's not only business. My friends complain about me not texting back. And that was just something I'm like, okay, this is a me problem. I need to fix this.
Because I even remember the first time I asked you to come on, I'm like, let me see if she'll come on. She probably won't answer, and then you answered. It was quick too. I was like, oh. I said, okay, she's improving. And ever since, listen, even if I send you a message and it's 10:30,
you
might not get back to 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, she's working.
I'm working
She's
on
always
it.
doing, she's doing some
Yes.
stuff, So I would think that it's important to just have that communication to people.
Definitely.
And have that access. But it is hard.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say is creating content is important.
Mm-hmm.
That is key.
That's my next tackle.
Content and consistency.
Yes.
That's what I say.
Yes.
Because like I say, I try to post anywhere from 3 to 6 times a day.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Like
you're better than me. You're better than me. I try to get at least 4, but I catch myself sharing posts on Facebook more than sharing my own content. And then I'm like, girl, this is not what you're here for.
Yes. Well, what you could do, what I'm learning to do now, is if you know you're going to talk about 12 different topics, right? The key number really is just twice, 2 or more. So you could post, if you have the time, take an hour, make like 12, 15 videos. You can schedule those posts to go up automatically.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the scheduled posts.
So like me, I usually post to Instagram and then it goes to Facebook.
Yeah.
So just schedule the post. Say you look at your algorithm of your guest of your I forget the word I'm looking for, but of your friends on like when you see like the highest peaks are.
Yeah,
people are.
The analytics.
Yeah, so if you see 1 p.m. People are on, you put
That's
1, and then if 1's 7, like okay 7, and then it just posts, and then you don't ever have to worry about it.
I've never actually thought about checking the algorithm. I might need you to show me that because I've never thought about actually checking that and putting the times with that. Because I usually in the morning I try to post in the morning. And then that's another thing. I don't know what I want to post most of the time. So I'm just like, what do I want to talk about today? But I know I have a certain time frame that I do post.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, if I don't have it by this time, I'm shot because everybody's going to be at work.
Right. But the other thing is too, you can reshare the stuff. So so like sometimes I've posted things at night just to post them. Yeah. And then in the morning, I'll post it again. Okay. Just so I don't forget. Listen, who knows? Like I could post a clip from this show at 1:30 in the morning and you never know. Drink Champs might watch it. Be yo,
that's
find
true.
that guy.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
So that's just the thing I would say is to just content and consistency.
Yes.
Because then you're putting the information in front of people. They're going to see your face. Yeah. And they're going to be like, oh, yeah, that's the credit girl. Yeah. Or that's the life insurance girl. Like, look at your shirts. Yeah. Credit hero? So like that's just the things that I would say that would help you. Okay. That would definitely help.
I'm definitely going to discipline myself on that.
If you need any help along the way, let me
I might
know.
because when it comes to content, I'm like sometimes so jaded. I'm like I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know if I should be serious. Should I joke? Should I, I don't know. But I'll get it together.
Yeah, it's all about how you feel in that time and in that moment. And then you just kind of say, all right, well, this is what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. This is how we got to do things. Mm-hmm. This is where we got to take things. And, and just you want to show everyone each side of yourself. Yeah. Yeah. So you can be funny. You can be serious. You can be lean. You can be a lean, mean fighting machine.
Yeah, I definitely want people to know, like, my personality. I don't want people to think just because I talk about credit or life insurance or financial literacy that I'm like just this boring office lady. You know what I mean? Like I don't want people to like really correlate me with that. That's why I just try to be outgoing and stuff like that. I try to relate. I want to be that person.
Well, you show things of other things on your page of your son playing sports and you and your life. Mm-hmm. The content doesn't just have to be about the subject. Mm-hmm. It can be about all different types of things of your life. So people see that. Because, like it's just like any, if people are interested in like a celebrity, right? Yeah. They know everything about that celebrity.
Everything.
They know everything.
Christopher Maurice Brown.
See? Listen, that was me with Tupac. Lassane Parish Crooks is Tupac's legal name. Everything.
Wow, I didn't even know that. What is it?
Lassane Parish Crooks.
That's a nice name, though.
Is his legal birth given name.
That's a nice name.
Yeah.
His mom Snap. That's a nice name.
You know, that's dope. I was just, people were like, that's his name? Like, yeah.
You would have never thought.
No. See,
Wow.
people, you know, if you want to know about someone, you gonna know.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. People gonna want to know, because then once you start getting out there, people get interested.
Yep.
You know, they're like, oh, well, you know, who's that guy? Like, or who's this girl? I want to know more. That's just how it goes.
Yes.
How do you feel you're making a difference in your community?
I feel like I'm making a difference because I haven't seen, well, I'm not going to say I haven't seen, because I've been to one and I've seen a few financial literacy seminars, but it was mainly aimed for adults, and I wanted to just reach the children because I know they're the future. And with the way that I see my community, I feel like we can do a whole lot more than what we're doing, but we haven't been able to because we don't have the information and we don't know how to. So I feel like I'm benefiting the families by trying to explain certain things to their children as well as adults. But my main goal is the children, because, you know, that information can live on with them forever, and they'll take it with them, and they might be the ones that change the community. And, you know, you don't know, your children might own half of the block one day because of information. So, and I want to teach families and parents so that they can instill that into their children as well. So I feel like there's not a lot of teaching about financial literacy in the community. There is teaching, but there's not a lot of it. So shout out to everybody who is teaching it, though. But I feel like we should implement it more, and even after school programs and stuff like that. Like, I feel like it should be in school.
Absolutely. Credit, taxes, how to write a check.
Yeah.
Like, business stuff should be in there. Like, they don't even teach cursive.
What?
My daughter actually had to teach herself.
Oh my goodness.
She had to teach herself cursive.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. I was like, because she wrote in cursive, and I was like, how'd you learn that? She goes, oh, I looked online and taught myself.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't teach cursive anymore, which is still a requirement.
Yeah.
When you sign a check, you sign in cursive.
Signature means cursive.
Right. Exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, goodness.
That's what I'm saying. What are some other things that you want people to understand about financial literacy?
That it's not that hard. Knowing about money is not hard at all. It's just I feel like once you read about something and then once you see it for yourself, it's like that, especially when it comes to money. Like when we were talking about stocks, it's like once you get into it and once you like put your feet in the water, you get it more and more. You know what I mean? And it's understanding. It's really terminology. A lot of big words are used in the financial literacy world that are basic. It's basic words, basic information. So that's what I feel.
Okay. And I think we're onto something. I got to really put forth the effort to put that together. Something that really I think needs to be done, because no one in our community is doing it.
We can do it.
You know,
we can do it.
We just have to get the right people, the right places, you know, and just be there for one another.
Definitely.
What is your ultimate goal in your line of work?
My ultimate goal is to see that people are taking the information and it's benefiting them. Okay. It's benefiting their family. That's my ultimate goal, to see what I do benefit others. Like, I want to see it. Like, I want to see it. You mean not just hear and
I
don't want to hear. I don't want to hear you say thank you. I want to see it. Like, I want to see your post on Facebook of you buying that new car because your credit is an 800.
You bought that house.
I want to see it. Yeah, I want to see it.
The fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
You want to see it. If you can accomplish, out of everything that you're looking to do with this line of work, if you can accomplish one thing, what would that one thing be? And it can be anything. It can be big. You could say, I want I want to be getting paid to do webinars on this. It could be, I want to have a building dedicated to this.
I want to be able to, hold on, let me think of the name. Because I can't, it's a festival. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the name. But it's always in Georgia. I want to be on stage maybe for one of the festivals by the, oh my gosh.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's the festival that they have every year.
I
It's
know
like a 3-day festival in Georgia.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh gosh.
It's like a financial,
yes.
I don't know the name, but I know what you're talking about.
Yes, I would like to be on, like, at least I would like to be a part of it. I'm not going to say be on stage. I would like to be a part of it and be able to even introduce my city to it. You know what I mean? Like, I want all of that stuff to just come. I just want it to come. I want to just be a part of that. That would be my goal.
You can do it. You're starting out and you can do it. Still young. Got plenty of time.
Time's ticking, though.
Yeah, and it ticks fast. So with that, what are some of your other future goals?
Some of my other future goals would be to have an office. I would love to have my own office, and not only just for to do paperwork and to take clients, but I want to hold classes there. Okay. I would love to hold classes there for children. Maybe parents want to have a program for their kid to where they're learning they're actually taking a course in financial literacy, and they're like learning like the in-depths, like about taxes, maybe, like, stuff that's more in depth with financial literacy. So that might be on the list for my future goals.
So now I end each show with a positive ending message. But one of the things that I added to this season was I want you to tell everyone something about yourself that they don't know.
Something about me that people probably don't know.
And it don't have to be nothing crazy. You could tell me you dip your bagels in mustard.
Okay. Well, since we're talking about eating.
Oh, you said you didn't eat this morning.
Since we're talking about eating, so I love dry ramen noodles.
Really? Just
dry.
Crunch.
Straight out the pack.
Just crunch.
I bite into it like a cookie.
Really?
Yes.
No flavor?
No flavor, no nothing. Dry ramen noodles. Just snap the pack open.
What? It doesn't hurt the roof of your mouth, your throat.
No,
nothing.
It does not if you chew it right.
Yo,
I love it.
Yo, that's nasty.
Always been my favorite snack.
Yo, that's nasty work. That is nasty work. I was not expecting that at all.
Yes, that is something a lot of people don't know about me unless they see me eating it.
I was not expecting that at all.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Dry ramen noodles. Maybe you should try it one time. You might like it.
I don't know about that. Everyone might think I done lost my mind. I start eating dry ramen noodles. Kids will be like, "Dad, you okay?" It's all right.
Everything's okay over
here. It's all right. I'm just hungry. Couldn't wait. So, that your handles, where if anyone wants to utilize your services, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Facebook at Shurriyah Drye, Instagram RIYYAH_, and that's it. My phone number, my direct link is on my Facebook and my Instagram. So you click that link, my phone number, my business card will most likely pop up. So
all right,
that's how we get in contact.
And last but not least, I end each show with a positive ending message. If you look into your camera, give them, the audience, something positive, uplifting, and spirited. The floor is yours.
Whatever you want to do, nothing is too hard to accomplish. As soon as you think about it, just know you can do it. And just learn and learn, never stop learning, because knowledge is power, and you'd be so surprised by how far you can go by what you know.
Well, I thank you, my sister.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too.
And I want to thank everyone for tuning into this episode. I hope it was informative. I hope that you take something from it. Please, if you have no life insurance, get in contact with her. And I got to practice what I preach because I told y'all I don't have life insurance. So we're going to make sure that she changes that. So this episode is part of season 3 of Honest Hour now. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for all your support. I want to thank Marks Incorporated for allowing us to use their space. I want to thank my production team at the COC Network for everything they have done for me to this point. And I want to thank you, the audience, for tuning in. And like I always say, be better than you were yesterday, today, but be prepared tomorrow to be better than you were today. Peace.